Alrighty, what is up, guys? Evanaldo here. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Exciting market right now. Things are looking really good. A lot of people are talking about ETH, as I've been talking about potentially reaching new all-time highs, in a few weeks, hopefully this month. We'll see what happens. I'm pretty optimistic. This is kind of the latest I've been doing. So I had the ETH win here, and it was kind of a small position. I went kind of hard and kind of caught the bottom, which was really cool. It was a good setup there. And took a Bitcoin short, closed it out for like a small profit here the other day, and that was good. It obviously jumped up 5-hour trigger wave, so kind of didn't really babysit the trade. I just waited, a day and didn't really see too much happening. And then some more bullish signs, so I closed it out kind of on that. If you guys are interested in the Discord, the link is down below. There's a discount if you want to pay in crypto. The crypto payments area is in the support ticket here with the wallets, and it says the amount here, I believe. Yeah, right there. And if you do want to sign up to any of the exchanges down below, if you want to trade, and you sign up to any of these exchanges down below, deposit at least $100. They'll give you one free month in the Altcoin Empire VIP Discord. We got Nightshade in there, we got KMAC in there, so a lot of really good people in there. I think we're going to do really well in the coming months, especially with hopeful altcoin season coming. So BYDFI, there's a welcome bonus up to 5,000. I don't know exactly. They told me it's actually 100,000, so stay with me on this. It might get a little bit better. 20% off your fees for life for this one. 25% off your fees for life with Bitunix up to 100K for the deposit bonus, and then there's a trading bonus of Bitcoin on BitFi. BitFi is 20% off your fees for life as well. My link. So any of these deposit at least $100. Open a support ticket in the Discord with your UID. I'll give you one free month there. So let's get into the analysis right now. So ultimately, everything looks pretty good, and I think this is the big point we want to break through on Bitcoin. And when you look at the 3-hour here, it looks like we should be able to keep going. It looks like that money flow is hopefully going to come up, bring us up to 120. We don't really care too much about Bitcoin. We just want it to not completely nuke, because if it does, then everything's probably going to go down. But if it just stays sideways, somewhat bullish, ETH could kind of steal the show, because it's a period in the cycle where it's kind of still ETH season, and ETH is outperforming pretty much everything. And that's kind of what we want, that big ETH season. And, when Bitcoin is boring, ETH kind of comes up. So, ultimately what I think is where these two lines kind of intersect towards the end of August, if you do see a green August, and that would probably lead to a red September, as you saw in the previous two post-halving years, you would probably, see something along these lines in the next couple of weeks. Some better news, I guess, coming out with tariffs or whatnot. I haven't been following the fundamentals too much, But that's the thing, as a trader, it's based on mainly based off of cycles and technicals and all that, which is good enough for me. It's more than enough, and so yeah. And then kind of this deeper wave on the daily, that looks pretty good. VWAP is coming up on the 2 weeks, so everything looks like it should continue forward. There's a little bit of bearishness in like some of these time frames, like I guess the 6-day, the weekly money flow coming down, but I feel like that's kind of already played out with our little kind of pullback. You may see the 2-week bear div maybe beginning of September, if you do think September is going to be that red month, which I'm kind of leaning towards, and October being a really good month. And then we'll see potentially, I guess October's the earliest I think we would peak out. It just depends where we get to. Like if we get to, this is just kind of, obviously educated guess, but something like this along these lines, and then end of October somewhere maybe up to 150. That's what I would kind of look at if you do think we're going to peak out in October. And history would tell you that we will, based on the cycles and based on how long it's been since the last halving. So there's that. Ethereum, obviously hitting a big point kind of 4 times. This is like one of those, I don't know, it's one of those versions of a Wyckoff where generally, I believe, there's no exact science, but the targets would mainly bring you around here, if not more. Like you could be, I wouldn't go all the way down here for the target length, but it could easily bring you up to like that 7,300 area. By October into end of year, which is what I'm looking at here, you're about to break, hopefully, above 4,000 within a few days. I mean, I guess you could reject from here or, that area again, but I think you should get up to 4,100, which would be really, really good right now. And if we look at this trade, I just want to see the funding fees. Okay, not bad. They're still generally kind of low. I think we have a decent shot of, continuing forward. This trade's, really good up, I'm going to take some more profits around 4,100. That's info on that is in the Discord too. I think it's 41. Yeah, 4,100 makes the most sense here. And So that's kind of what I'm looking at, or actually I think now I remember it was right here, but 4,100 is the next place after. There's kind of no exact right or wrong way to do it, but yeah, ultimately I think we should be able to keep going. The 2 week I would keep my eyes on this next kind of red wave dot that you get in September that could mark a bearish September, and how we would kind of map that out is if we think we're going to get up to potentially new all-time high for ETH and by the end of this month or something. Let's go on a little bit of a shorter time frame here. I guess you would probably into this, and let's say our bearish September, maybe back down, big area there, and then into October. That could be your bull run. That could absolutely be your bull run. Now, does anyone in the world ever predict it exactly right? No. So I'm expecting curveballs and other things to happen that may tell me that it's not gonna play out the way I want it to. But there's that. But that's just how things work. How things happen in life. Bitcoin dominance. Not gonna spend a ton of time on this. I think this generally should go down, and you probably should hit into October, November, this area 47% again. I don't know if you're gonna go all the way back down to these levels. I'd like you to if we get a crazy altcoin season, but we'll see what happens. ETH versus others, I think, is pretty important to look at. We're almost to this is kind of how it was in 2021, peaked out in early August. I think when you do see ETH hit a new all-time high, I think people will start to get kind of bored with ETH and money will go into altcoins, and then you kind of get your alt season where most alts outperform Ethereum and Bitcoin from, let's say mid-August to the end of October, 2.5 months, and even during the next pullback, which would likely be in September. So there's that excitement. ETH is making a new high, new local high against Bitcoin, which is always good. I think this should continue forward and erase all the way pain that we've had since kind of the end of 2024, and hopefully all the pain since September of 24. These areas, I mean, we came down so much on Bitcoin, but we're recovering. We're doing what we want to do here. That's good. And then others itself, just looking at altcoins, how that's kind of working. A little bit of depressing in some ways, but breaking above this place and getting up to these areas. If things go crazy, hopefully, I don't know if you're gonna. Well, I want to say I do think you're gonna make a new all-time high. I do think you are, unless this is the cycle that just really kills us all and just another rejection off of 400 billion. But we'll see what happens. We'll definitely see what happens. I'm more optimistic than that. A few ones I like, AVAX. I think the big thing here, and I can spend a ton of time on this, but the big kind of target that I'm looking at would be from there to there, up to like 45 or something, and then Cardano there, hopefully up to $1, really more. Yeah, no, $1.20 easily. I think would be the goal for this. In hopefully the next few weeks. I mean, into October, hopefully that $2, maybe even $5. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. That's why diversification of alts is very important, because some that you're not sure will do well, will do very well. Some that you're not sure, not thinking that won't do too well, or thinking that will do well, won't do as well as you would like. I mean, Solana hopefully into next couple weeks, 240 or something. Hopefully they can do something. I think that should come up a little bit. And then Polygon had a nice little jump. I think it's inevitable that this should jump and hit, kind of these targets here, 40 cents. I mean, I think this is a 40 cent token, I think, at least at this point. So we'll get up to those points and hopefully keep going. Overall, market looks really good, guys. To sum it up, I'm still kind of in my longs. I'll give you more trade setups in the Discord, so check it out if you guys are interested. Smash the like button and check out the exchanges. Like I mentioned below, a lot of opportunities in this market. Always be careful though. Don't just go in blind. It's all about risk management and all that type of stuff. So yeah, check out that below if you're interested. All right, guys, I'll see you soon. Goodbye.